Hi everyone, I am Sam Prana from TheGeekyWay.com and welcome to your second tutorial on XHTML and CSS. In this tutorial, we'll be going to discuss about the basic semantics of the web page and a special declaration which is doctype. But before we do so, we need to clear out some basic points, which are these. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it shouldn't be confused with a programming language, because programming language is altogether a different thing. The programming language deals with logic, but HTML doesn't deal with logic, and it is known as a markup language because it's made up of something known as tags. Now here we need to understand what these tags actually are. Before we put in any stuff in the web page, we need to tell the browser what kind of content we will be going to put in. For this thing we need tags. We need to tell the browser what type of content we'll be going to put in, and we need tags for that. So if I want to have a paragraph in my HTML document, I would first tell the browser with a P tag, where P stands for paragraph, that I would be going to put a paragraph in my HTML document. For putting an image, we'll be using an image tag like this. For a link, I would be using something known as an anchor tag, which is depicted by A like this, and so on. We'll discuss all this stuff in later tutorials, but first let's start to understand the basic semantics of the web page now. Okay, so the first line of every HTML web page has something really very important, which is a doctype declaration. Let's first define a doctype for our HTML web page. You can do this by a less than symbol, then exclamation mark, leave a space, then type doctype and HTML like this, and a greater than symbol. Now what this doctype declaration is, it tells the web browser what version of HTML language you are using to code your web page and how it should render. It's basically a technical thing for the web browser to know before it can render your HTML document. So you need to include this and you're good to go. You don't need to get into the details of this, but you need to understand that we have different doctypes for different versions of HTML. So HTML 1.0 would have a different doctype, HTML 4.0 would have a different doctype, and this doctype corresponds to HTML 5, which would be soon accepted as a standard. So just remember this, and this is probably the easiest one which you could remember, because all other doctypes generally includes a link and they are far difficult to remember. Okay, so let's start with our HTML web page. The first tag your HTML web page would have is an HTML tag like this. All the tags defined in HTML would have something like this less than symbol and the greater than symbol, and you can also call them angular brackets, and in between these two you have the name of the tag, which is HTML here. Now the HTML tags generally comes in pairs. Now what do I mean by that is, if I have this tag as an opening tag, I need to close this tag somewhere here, and in between these two tags I would have the stuff what I need to put in these tags. Let us understand how to close this tag. For closing a tag, write the same tag as it is, like this HTML and this HTML, but the closing tag has a forward slash like this. So this is an opening HTML tag and this is the closing HTML tag, and anything I put in between these two tags would be rendered as an HTML document on our web page, on our browsers. So our HTML web page is divided basically into two main sections, which are head and the body. Now these are defined by the head and body tags. which can be done like this. A head tag, since we opened it, we need to close it like this. And let's have a body tag here. Now since we opened it, we need to close it like this. Now let us understand what these head and body sections are all about. Your head section contains all the technical details about your web page. It would include all your keywords, the author info, the link to external style sheets that your web page would be going to use, and all other external documents your web page is going to use. So you can treat head as something which is meant for web browsers and search engines. Okay, and when we come to body, body contains all the stuff you see on a web page. So all the stuff you see on the web page which is visible to you actually is under this body section, and head contains all the technical details including the title of your web page. So let's now define title for our web page. To do so, we need to have a title tag, and you can have it this way. Leave some space, and we need to close it as usual like this. Now the noteworthy point here is I have closed this tag on the same line, but I haven't done so with this head tag. I have an opening tag, head tag on a different line, and a closing head tag on the different line. If I would have done like this, it wouldn't matter at all, because HTML ignores all the white spaces and we can code the entire HTML in a single line, but then it becomes somewhat messy, and when you go into complex coding you won't understand anything. So for the sake of simplicity and readability of code, we code it this way. Notice I have indented all the stuff. So your HTML tags would contain your head tags and your body tag, and in head tag you would have a title tag. Now let us define the title by typing in between. Let's name it TheGeekyWay.com. Okay, so we are good to go. Now let's save our web page. Click on File, then Save As. Now let's save it on desktop. Let's name our web page TheGeekyWay. And notice here that if I would save this as a text file, then it wouldn't mean anything to the web browsers. So I need to save it as an HTML document. Now let's open this up and search for hypertext markup language, which is here. And this document can be saved either as .html, .htm, .shtml, and so on. We'll click on this and it would be saved as .html. Now we'll save this and minimize it, go to our desktop, and here is the web page ready, and we can open it, double click on it, and yes, here it is. So notice that our title goes here, right here. So the title goes here in the title bar, and we don't have anything on the web page right now because all the cool stuff that you see rendered on the web page is actually under the body section, and our body section is currently empty. Let's put up a single line in the body section. Let's put up, hi, I am Sain Khurana. Co-founder of TheGeekyWay.com, and click on File, then save it and refresh this, and we got this right here. We'll continue this in the next tutorial. Till then, goodbye, and don't forget to subscribe the channel.